Hello everyone, my name is Kevin. Today I'm going to be bringing you a story about Horshoe Canyon Ranch. We visited Horshoe Canyon Ranch at the beginning of 2022. This has been one of our favorite climbing destinations due to the location, the camping, and just the way everything looks in that area and feels. The rock at Horshoe Canyon Ranch is made out of sandstone. The good thing about sandstone is that sandstone is basically like gym holds. It's the grippy, sandpapery feeling holds that you would normally see in an indoor gym. The first time we visited Horshoe Canyon Ranch, we were pretty surprised with the quality of the holds. We had never touched sandstone before. We were used to limestone that we have down here in Texas, so it was a really good surprise for us. Tyler had informed me about a climbing trip that Carter and him had planned a couple months prior. I hadn't thought that I would actually be able to make it, especially coming back from the Puerto Rico trip. I just felt like I was going to be exhausted at the time, and I knew I was going to still be stuck editing the movie for Puerto Rico. But regardless, a few days prior to them deciding to go to HCR, I talked to Shantele, and she was willing to go on a weekend trip with me to HCR and join Tyler and Carter. So we thought, let's reach out to everyone else, see who would be available. We had just gotten back from Puerto Rico, so a lot of the climbing crew was busy doing other plans or recovering from this long, beautiful adventure. We reached out to my close friend Mo to see if he'd be willing to come along. Mo was one of the first people I ever went climbing outdoors with, so this was going to be a good experience for me to share some nice climbing with my good friend Mo. On top of that, we were wondering who else would be willing to come on this trip with us.
Mo agreed to come to this. In the middle of the conversation, we were like, what if we just asked Dante if he wanted to join us too?
Dante had previously joined us to the big HCR trip at the beginning of the year, but we had just come back from Puerto Rico and he lives in California. So we were really doubted that he would be able to make it because this was quite a bit of a flight, especially after Puerto Rico, to come over here to Dallas and come climbing with us to HCR. But we were all still feeling a little bit of post-climb sadness. We were missing a little bit of what we had experienced in Puerto Rico, and we wanted to share that together again.
And I'm currently en route driving to the airport to pick him up.
So we planned out this last minute trip to go to HCR with Tyler and Carter. We ended up having Dante join along. I remember we were calling him late at night, and we told him our crazy plan, like, hey, would you be down to come to HCR with us out of nowhere? And that same night, I think we stayed on the phone for like 2 hours while he booked his flight, and eventually it was done. He had booked his flight to come to Dallas. The flight was booked. We were a few days away from the weekend to start this HCR trip, and then Dante flew in, and that's where our journey began. We packed up, got ready. That Friday night, we departed from here to arrive at Horshoe Canyon Ranch in the middle of the night. We got there probably around 1 o'clock in the morning. It was pitch black, but we had to get there, set up our tents, and get ready for the climbing day.
It's been way too long since I seen you, looked you in your eyes. Ride around the town and staying out, don't wanna say goodbye. Everything's so different now, you're just what I'm missing now. But I know that I can't have you back, I guess I'm tripping now, yeah. Sometimes I start missing you crazy, ain't nothing quite like you. Love like this keeps going and going, I cannot forget you.
The previous HCR trip, we primarily focused on sport climbing, but this trip, since we had forgotten our ropes, we ended up bouldering the whole weekend. We got started on Saturday morning. We started scouting out the area and found these really fun, easy problems to work on. The weather window was amazing. We all hopped onto this V1, V0 slab, started moving our way up the grades.
Way before I ever had Gucci, way before I ever had a rollie on. Talking back when I dropped Corleone, picking up an 8 that my homie got. Fucking in the car, that's the only spot. Back when I felt more free, back when I smoked more weed, back when I drove up and down 92 with a view of the moon and you in my passenger seat. That was so good, now it's all gone. Is what it is, cause we both moved on. At least we had memories, now we also got this song, yeah.
Eventually we moved our way up to this V4 called Dig Dug. We got started. Carter went ahead and flashed that boulder since he had done it in the past. He showed Dante and I some beta, where Dante and I worked through it, and eventually we were able to also land Dig Dug.
Back, I guess I'm tripping now, yeah. Sometimes I start missing you crazy, ain't nothing quite like you.
This was an awesome accomplishment. Dig Dug felt awesome. They had this really hard cross move that I believe was the crux of the problem at the very start of the problem. That's the move everyone else struggled on.
Oh, whoa, buddy. Come on, Tyler. That's it, Tyler. Come on. Get your feet. Yeah, there you go. That's it, Tyler. Come on. Oh, that's it.
Yeah, if you saw me now, would you recognize me or would you call me out? I know it's been a while, but I'm still me. But honestly, it's been so long that I wouldn't be offended if you didn't even feel me. There's a gap now, big enough to make us forget how we felt in the past now. Everything moves so fast now. I miss things going slower. I miss us being closer. I mean, I got a good thing, but I feel like I don't even really know her. This is a new life. I didn't do you right, but I got a second chance to improve my appreciation. I should take it. Sorry that I ever got jaded. It's been way too long since.
From there on, it was just some really fun overhang sections to the slab part.
You're just what I'm missing now. But I know that I can't have you back. I guess I'm tripping now. Sometimes I.
This was a pretty tall boulder. I think the top out was a little bit scary at first from a distance. It just looked like a interesting fall if you were to happen to slip off the finishing hold.
Hi, bro. Hi. Come on, feet up. Yeah.
That was headed to the sketchy top out. It was a blast. We enjoyed climbing that. Dante and I sent it. That was our first V4 in Horseshoe Canyon Ranch.
Whack! Whack! Man, when he talks, whack!
Me, I'm tight. Me, I'm tight. Fuck.
We moved on to another section where there was this climb called War Bonnet. This was a V5, so we stepped it up a little bit. This V5, at first I had touched it and I didn't think I could do it.
They bump. Yeah, they go there and they bump right.
There was this pinch that was not even a pinch. A climber here in Dallas called it a cringe. And that's basically the best description of it. So you bump in from these crimps to this crunch. Which is like a pinch, but it's like on crimps, so you're not really pinching onto too much, and it's so small and sharp. It was really hard to hold on to, but I didn't think I was gonna actually get that. But before we had left that section, Dante was like, let's do this again.
Come on, Dante. Yeah! Yeah! Good shit, Dante. Woo-hoo! Alright.
He tried it, he got it, and it lit a fire in me. It was time to have a sin train. So I went ahead and got onto War Bonnet with a very strong belief in myself that I could land it. I ended up grabbing onto that cringe as hard as I could. Ended up hitting that overhang section, flew out of that boulder a little bit.
Come on, Kevin.
Let's go!
And then I ended up catching myself, moved my way up through this also kind of scary top out. Everyone was motivating me, pushing me, and I ended up getting War Bonnet. That was my first V5 at Horseshoe Canyon Ranch, and it was a blast. We were exhausted. It was time to get back to base camp and refuel.
Yeah, I think fresh energy, fresh cojones. Like when I came here, like that. I got it. Hey, buddy.
We went back to base camp. We ended up getting our chicken quesadillas that Carter made for us. These chicken quesadillas refueled the group. They gave us the energy we needed to come back and hit the night bouldering on Saturday.
Come compliment me. Then become an enemy. Cop a flight to Paris, low key. It's you, baby girl, I'm tryna breathe. Please, baby, try understand me.
We hit this climb that we've been working on since the last time we visited HCR, which is called Orb Weaver. Orb Weaver is this really strong V7 plus that used to be a V8. Orb Weaver, it comprises of this crack that's very sharp that leads to this really tiny undercling and really small slopey crimps. We all put in some work on it.
Come on.
Oh my God, Kevin! Come on!
Come on, Carter. Nice, Carter. Come on. Get your toes. Yes. Yes, dude. Come on, Carter.
We didn't manage to get it. I think Dante and I ended up getting to our furthest points on the climb that we've ever gotten. I think coming back fully rested, we have a good shot at it. That night was not the night for Orb Weaver. We'll be back for that.
Nice. Hold it. Slow.
After Orb Weaver, it was late, it was time to call it a night. Got to share some good moments with everybody in that campsite, and it was time for Sunday. Sunday morning came and we were ready to boulder.
Good shit, Carter.
Come on, Dante, easy.
Immediately, Dante and I noticed we had no energy.
Yeah.
Come on. Nice.
You got a cab?
Come on, guys. Oh,
Yeah. We were supposed to hit this climb called Orbital Mechanics. I think it's a V8. It's a really overhung section with some really cool heel hook, toe hook, beta. Once we got there, Dante and I had no energy. We couldn't climb much onto it. We tried hitting it a couple times, but we weren't making much progress. Carter was going hard at it, and he was looking really sharp at it. I believe he made almost every single move in the problem, but just couldn't put it together at the end. We didn't have enough time to keep going at that problem, but we hit orbital mechanics quite hard. Used up the last bit of our energy. We just enjoyed the rest of our time there at Horshoe Canyon Ranch. We got to enjoy the weather. We all sat on top of this beautiful boulder that we were practicing how to do no-hand walking up the rocks. It brought me back to what I really enjoy out of climbing, which is just spending time with friends, being out in nature, connecting with yourself again. Being in the city so much can take that away from you, and moments like that are exactly why I climb. Every time we go outdoors to one of these places, it's so soul-filling. It re-energizes what truly is inside of us and matters. We can get so distracted by everyday things in life, but sometimes you have to remember to just take a deep breath, open your eyes, let the sun in, let the wind enter your ears, let those vibrations travel through your body, and enjoy what is life, which is in the moment and what's now. Look forward to something that makes you look forward to the future. Work on something that makes you look forward to the future. You have such a precious thing right now, which is called life. At any point, any of us could lose this precious gift. I wish to share as many moments as I can during this life I have with amazing people, building on those deep connections that we've been forming. Continue to be grateful for everything, having gratitude for this life and gratitude for these friendships and gratitude for this body, gratitude for this life that allows me to climb and explore the world, gratitude for the understanding of what really matters to me. And with that, I want to say goodbye, and I hope you look forward to my future climbing videos. I learned a lot from each and every one of these trips, and I would love to continue sharing these with you. Have a good one, and keep on living.